Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Class 6 pupils, I welcome you to our science lesson today. Our topic is food and nutrition. Our subtopic is modern methods of preserving food. Last time we talked about what is food, what is nutrition, what are the nutrients. We talked about food preservation. We talked about methods of food preservation, whereby we talked about traditional methods, including drying, smoking, salting, use of honey, use of ash, and use of low temperatures. Today, our subtopic is modern methods of preserving food. Pupils, modern methods of preserving food. These are methods used nowadays for preserving food. In these methods, technology is used in preserving food. Pupils, examples of the modern methods of preserving food are drying, canning, and freezing, also known as refrigeration. Number 1, drying. Drying, pupils, is a method used in preserving food. Then we have canning. Before that one, let us finish with the drying. Drying is done at home and in factories. In factories, coffee berries, rice, wheat, and the tea leaves are dried. Using modern dryers to remove water before packing. Pupils, drying and the use of low temperatures are both traditional and modern methods of preserving food. Number 2, we have canning. Canning is a method of putting foods and drinks in bottles or cans. Canning is done in factories where food is heated under very high temperatures and cooled very fast to kill germs and remove air. Pupils, containers are sealed and expiry dates indicated, meaning that canned foods usually go bad after a certain period of time. Example of canned foods, pupils, include fish, meat, beans, sweets, fruits, and cheese. Pupils, airtight containers with backed foods, the lids should be airtight, meaning no air can enter, no air can penetrate. Use of low temperatures. Foods stored at low temperatures remain fresh for a long time. Machines called refrigerators are used to keep food at very low temperature of between 0 degrees Celsius to 8 degrees Celsius. At low temperature, bacteria become inactive, hence they cannot multiply. Pupils, When storing foods in large quantities, special facilities called cold rooms are used. These facilities are commonly used in factories, hospitals, and schools. Examples of foods that are stored in refrigerators are vegetables, milk, meat, fish, cooked foods, and fruits. Number 3, freezing, also known as refrigeration. Pupils, freezing, special machines called freezers are used to prevent the bacteria from growing and multiplying. Most refrigerators have a distinct cabinet called the deep freezers. The deep freezer, the food is stored at a very low temperature below 0 degrees Celsius. Pupils, foods preserved in freezers include milk, meat, fish, and cooked food. Pupils, reasons for preserving food. That is proper storage of food. During reasons for preserving food, the following reasons explains why we preserve food. 1, to avoid wastage. If you are eating food, your body has taken what it is able to accommodate. The remaining food, you don't throw it away. You keep it for future use. That is to avoid wastage. 2, for later use. 3, to conserve energy. 4, to maintain the taste and flavor of food. 5, to have food that is sometimes out of season. If it is fruits, let's say it is apple season, you can't eat all. You keep others in refrigerators for future use. So that's why we say to have food that is sometimes out of season. Lastly, for easy transportation. When we talk about easy transportation, we have those foods which are perishable. Perishable foods are those foods which go bad quickly. Pupils, we move lastly to proper storage of foods. During the harvesting season, foods from plants are in plenty and they cannot be consumed all at once. So, most of them are perishable. That is, they go bad within a short period of time. Most animal products are also perishable. To avoid waste of animal and plant products which are perishable, there is need to store them properly. The following are the important actions we should take to be able to store food properly. 1, all cooked foods should be covered with airtight lids. 2, dried foods should be stored in watertight containers. 3, grains such as maize, beans, pears, millet, and so on should be dried thoroughly before being stored in well-ventilated granaries or food stores. 4. Milk should be boiled, cooled, and then put in clean, well-covered containers inside the refrigerator. Lastly, 5. Fruits like bananas should be stored in a cool, dry place to regulate the ripening process. Bananas do not ripen well under warm conditions. Pupils, that brings us to the end of our today's lesson. I urge you to listen properly. You take notes, you read, so that whenever you come across a question from food and nutrition, whether traditional methods of preserving food, modern methods of preserving food, you should be able to answer it correctly. Until we meet our next lesson, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.